Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the fifth place playoff match between Fiji and Argentina. Looking through at the side straight away. This game only about a minute away from starting. Joshua Billy, Jeremiah Matana, Tera Walangi into that starting lineup for the Fijians. Naduva, Saturanga, Mai Samoa, and also Bukayaro. Now, out of all those players, Mai Samoa had a very good Cape Town Sevens. It's a shame the Fijians in their quarterfinal were knocked out by the USA, as they certainly were looking very strong in all their matches up till that point. Argentina, they've gone Luna, Iskra, Graciano, Uzuchuk, Fraga, Tobias Wade, and Palandini as the last man in that starting lineup. So we now know that France, they have finished seventh, or in fact, yeah, I believe that was the seventh place playoff, or was it ninth place? It could have been ninth place that the French were playing for there up against the Australians. In fact, it would have been. So France are ninth, and now this game is going to determine who will finish sixth. Ruben Keane, the Australian, in charge of this matchup, and high, still 30 degrees at the stadium, says Jan-Lou Brand. So I hope you're in the shade, mate, because that is certainly going to be a hot final in only a couple hours' time when Samoa take on New Zealand. We are going to be covering that one on the channel as well. But Argentina going to be in their away strip of the blue and also the teal diamonds, I guess is the best way of describing that one. Fiji in their classic white with the black trim. But it is going to be Argentina kicking off this matchup. Fifth place final underway in their quarterfinal, or in their last match, I should say, for the Fijians, winning it 38-0, I believe it was, up against Uruguay. So they've certainly got some momentum. Now Bukayaro has this ball for the Fijians deep inside of their own 22. Looking to drive across, but it seems like Argentina, their defensive line, does like to try and get into the way of that Fijian backline to try and create a little bit of indecision. But now there's going to be a big run forward from the man on the outside. Here he comes. I believe that is going to be Saturanga. Tries to go straight over the top of the defender. It's a penalty, though, in favor of the Fijians. Right tackle now. It's going to be Billy at first receiver. Jeremiah Matana, actually, it was, who had that big carry up the middle of Billy. Now 50 meters out. They haven't actually got Waisiana Thunu in the starting lineup, but Mai Samoa's there, and when he is, it can be dangerous. Sadly, they still don't have Talatholo. That's going to be actually Billy close to the try line. He does get there in the end and does manage to score the try, the first of the match for the Fijians. But what I was saying there is Josefa Talatholo, unfortunately, sustained an injury, and I believe it was the second or the third matchup. I think it was second up against South Africa. He scored early, but then unfortunately unable to continue. That right leg has got something seriously wrong with it. So that's why he's not playing in this game. Instead, I believe it was Nudovalo who came in as the injury replacement. He finds himself coming off the bench in this game alongside some very good talent. Mothra Thangi, Orata Rathiri, and Naya Hakalu. Kick long. Doesn't quite have the distance on that one, nor the accuracy outside of the left-hand post. And that will mean that the score is still 5-0 for the Flying Fijians. Looks like, well, this isn't good. Pelandini actually not going to be able to continue this match by the looks of it, unless it is. Might just be a blood bin. He might be all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have still got 7 on the field for Argentina. So this match will be play on while Pelandini is getting patched up. Fiji, just taking a little bit more time here. Strategically waiting for the music to stop for Filippo Saturanga. Kicks it off long. Argentina take it nicely near the touchline. Now, Azachuk trying to break through, but Mai Samoa, another good tackle made by that man. And like I mentioned, he's been in some sensational form throughout the Cape Town Sevens. I think if Fiji have managed to get themselves that win over the USA, he might have been able to help them towards possibly a final. They would have been going head-to-head, though, with New Zealand in that semi, and they are currently in the final. That's a rough pass from Argentina. They'll be going back for the penalty, though. A little bit offside from Billy, just trying to jump the gun. He is quite a large individual. When he lines you up, you certainly know about it. You normally wake up a couple seconds later. Rodrigo Isgro kicks it downfield, trying to find the touchline, doesn't manage to do so. It would have been about 5 meters out the line out, but Bukayaro's done well to chase after that one and now run it back. A soft flow game there from the Fijians. 3-on-1 on this near side with my Samoa now. Decides to back himself, carves up the middle offload, and that's going to be a beautiful one straight to Filippo Satoranga, the second try now of the match for the Fijians. They're on fire at the moment in this matchup. That is going to be their second try. Just waiting a little bit longer. Draws a little X on the ground. Filippo Satoranga as Azochuk runs towards him. Now 3.5 minutes left of this first half, and Fiji already up by 2. Hamish, I just went to sleep, accidentally missed the Samoan game, says Tautala. Well, you missed quite an encounter. I won't spoil the result for you. You may already know the result, but I won't give you too much information just in case you do want to go back and watch the replay of it. Nice try, Fiji. Says Nathan, hello to everyone. Smash the like button and subscribe. Thanks a billion in advance. Says Grant, no worries at all. So the next game that we have got coming up on the channel, it will actually be South Africa versus USA. Then we are doing the women's final between New Zealand and Australia, followed by the final in the men's between New Zealand and Samoa. But now, Filippo Satoranga about to kick this one off. And Samoa lost badly, says Grant. Hey, Hamish, you're going to be covering the Heineken's Champion Cup at all, says Finton. We did end up doing the game yesterday between the Harlequins and the Sharks. Today, though, all of the games do overlap with Sevens final matches. But next weekend, we are going to be able to get a lot more of the Champions Cup in. I've been keeping an eye on it, though, just out of the corner of my eye throughout the last couple matches. I know that currently, with it being 5 a.m. Munster versus Toulouse, currently taking place, a match that actually went to golden point time and then penalty shootout last year in the Heineken's Champions Cup. I believe that was the semi-final or the quarterfinal, one of the two. And they're currently sitting 10-10 in that matchup. There's a chance it might be a draw again for them. I also see Sale absolutely dominated Ulster, which is weird because Ulster, I thought, were going to have a decent crack, but not good. The Ulsterman now line out. The scrum feed. Big seller, the dummy from Azochuk. It almost worked, but it's a little knock on, sadly. Tell you what, he pretty much tricked the whole of the Fijian backline in one foul swoop. Held on to that one, acted like he flicked it out the back. His arm fully extended backwards. And then just drifted through. It was half an inch from Bukayaro and managed to strip it out of the hands of the Argentine. Currently only a couple minutes left now. The first half. 1 minute 30 to be exact. Bukayaro going to feed the ball in. Scrum on the halfway line. Puts it in there. Fiji. Oh, that was a messed up hook. Same tunnel. That was probably pretty lucky because Argentina, they almost got their ball back. Not a best scrum that we've ever seen from the Fijians. It actually hit the side of a decent game, but very foggy in Limerick. Ulster were poor, says Finton there. Now Bukayaro about to feed the ball in. Once again, they'll want to make sure that it doesn't go out the side. It's going to be the quick tap taken, but Bukayaro just a little bit in front of the mark. Ruben Keane tells him to get back, and he does take the tap pretty much instantly. Afterwards, the acceleration from Bukayaro. Over a 10-yard dash. The man's definitely going to win a lot of foot races. I just watched a preview about the Golden Point game against Samoa and South Africa. The drop kick was so far away. It was 30 meters out. I didn't think he'd take it on. My Samoa goes straight through for the Fijians again. Oh! Was it slapped out of his hands? No. He does score. I actually thought Argentina slapped it out of his hand there from that angle. But it's going to be my Samoa's 5th try of the Sevens. Going very nicely in Cape Town. Another probably honourable mention towards a player of or at least the team of the tournament, I should say, of the Fijians. Like they're saying, nothing really on there. My Samoa just puts on the speed, breaks through the line, and manages to get himself a very nice try indeed. But yeah, that game between Samoa and South Africa went down to the wire. Very nervous for both sides getting near the end of it. My Samoa able to score that last-minute try in the first half. I believe actually an injury here for the man who was chasing Azochuk. I think he ran into the post. Speaking of posts, that one's actually hit the post for the drop kick attempt. So the score will remain 17 points to 0. There's an Argentine player down. They're just going to make sure Azochuk is able to make his way off the field. He's not looking too happy at all here. Some sort of leg injury. He moved the post, isn't he? And there, yeah, unfortunately, 2 cases of post action in one go. One player running into it, and then the other ball running into it, or gliding into it. What would you say? Flying into it? Oh, okay. Fiji asking for a penalty there in the breakdown. They don't receive it, so Argentina still with this ball. Another knock on, similar to what we saw for South Africa in their last matchup against the Samoans. Many handling errors from Argentina. My Samoa ball on the outside of Kurura. Billy has to clean it up. Very close to the touchline here. Once again, considered an offload game. Doesn't decide to use it. Saturanga now plays half across to my Samoa, who once again will step and once again will almost go through. That's a forward pass. They've said it's okay. Okay, that's probably forward by a metre, but it's going to be the try for Fiji. The next Sevens tournament is so far away, says Tal. Yeah, it's a little while to wait, but we've got plenty of rugby coming up until then. We are going to be doing the matches of the Champions Cup, where we will get to see some Samoans in action. We're going to be doing some cricket on the channel. There's certainly going to be plenty on. Be sure to stick around, and we'll be able to do all of the build-up for the next Sevens competition, and I believe it's going to be taking place in Hamilton. Here in New Zealand. Try, says Grant. Was indeed. Looked like a forward pass for me, but it's worked out. And the try is scored by Naduva. Fiji 22 points to 0 up at halftime. Oh, 24-0 now with that kick going over. I'm going to have a quick look at the betting odds. And lately, Ref's making many mistakes, and it's a little bit concerning because we've got the finals games just around the corner, and the last thing we want is for a side to be affected by a bad call from the referee. There we go. Sevens. Argentina to win this match, as I suspected, $100 underdogs. They should do ad referrals, says Grant in there as well. Doesn't look like Novalo is too keen to get out on the field. He's still got the vest on. He's looking very casual. I don't think he's had too many minutes throughout this competition, mainly because I think he came in late for Talafolo. Did have that little bit of an injury. Looking at the bench for the Fijians, Natunu, Mothino Thangi, Ratu Retiri, Nodawalo, and also Naya Thakalo is the last man. There, Fiji 4 visits to the opposition 22, 4 tries scored. So that is exactly what they want to do in the second half. Just keep on ticking over the points. We could see a 15-0 game here if the Argentines are not careful. They have not been tackling too well. 5 tackles made, 4 tackles missed. Fiji, 5 tackles made, 0 missed so far up till this point. But I should mention after this one, we have got our finals preview that will be coming out on the channel at around 5:30 p.m. New Zealand, 5:30 a.m. New Zealand time, where we do our Samoa versus New Zealand preview. Or it might be a little bit later, about 5:45, that one does get out on the channel. But as soon as it's edited, it will be going up. And we will let you know our score predictions in it. Which, once again, we're going with a similar tactic that we did for the semi and the quarterfinal for the Samoans. Fiji about to kick off the second half, though, for the 5th place playoff game. At the moment, it's almost, I would say, completely secured. And I was a good work on pronouncing the weird names. You are good, says Grant. Yeah, there's a few that don't quite roll off the tongue the way I'd like them to, but I guess it's just down to following the Sevens for the whole year. You slowly start to get those names rolling off the tongue just a bit better, no matter where they are from in the world. Now it is going to be a nice run from, I believe it was the number 19, Simon Benitez Cruz. Fiji get the ball back after the knock on, draw and pass my Samoa. Taken down 40 meters out from the line now. Fiji looking to attack, rush defense there, and actually working very well. I believe that would have been Augustin Fraga who rushed up. Mothina Thangi now out on the field, and I believe Fiji have made quite a few subs at halftime. Fiji 41, Argentina 7, says Nate for the prediction there. And at the moment, that is a that's a handling error. Knock on first from Argentina, they've said. Oh, this looks like another injury here for Argentina. Unfortunately, Matteo Graziano looks like it might be a shoulder injury. The right-hand side, time is going to be off here. Dropping right on his arm, and Argentina going to come back, says Grant. If they did, if anyone put money on them when they were $100 underdogs, they would be a very happy person, I would think. Side that won't be too happy, though, is Australia. They have really let themselves down in this Cape Town Sevens. They will hope to fire back in Hamilton, though. They are the defending champs, or at least they're right up there in terms of the amount of points that they've been able to get throughout last season. 0 visits to the opposition, 22 for Los Pumas, looking like lost Pumas out there on the buck. Sorry, had to do it. It was right there for the taking. It's the final game in Cape Town. Have to sneak a cheeky pun in every once in a while. Now it's going to be Graziano making his way off the field. That is the third player injured. We've already seen Uzachuk taken off. We have now seen Graziano, and also Palladini was off the field earlier on. They are losing players flat out. Fiji are looking to injure 7 before the end of this contest. Got themselves a scrum feed. I think Jacob would take some mad skills and hunger, says Grant, which we have seen from the Argentines in the past to an extent, but still very tricky to do. Bukiaro. Fiji have got a great attacking chance here. It's going to be my Samoa again with another step. Man on the inside. Finds the offload. One more pass. And it's another Fijian try. This time, the number 13, Naya Thakalu, has been able to score it. He's got a massive smile on his face. Waves to everyone in the crowd. Wally Soliso is actually the name that they've got there for his last name. Okay, so the World Sevens Series website has something completely different to the last name that they just showed. So I'm not too sure what to call him by. We'll call him at least by his first name, Paula. And he's been able to score the try. Very nicely there. He's a solid boy. Moves like he is a lot smaller and more agile. Nice work from the Fijian, and also the try, says Grant. I think your coverage may be a little bit ahead of me, Grant. Possibly by a few seconds, since I am on Sky Go and just a little bit further behind. But 29 points to nil here for Fiji. Do let me know in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Can Fiji bring up the 50 points in this game? They need 3 more converted tries or 4 with a couple unsuccessful. Nicely taken by Fernando Luna. The first time he's actually had the ball in hands for this matchup. That can be said about Argentina as well to a certain extent. Fiji really starving them of possession. Great tackle made by Maisamo, who had the player landing on his head. He's going to get penalised for not rolling away. He didn't really have anywhere to go, though, unfortunately. Time now 4:05. See, I'm 4:15. So, yeah, about maybe 15 seconds behind. So be sure not to spoil too much in those big final matches, as I might be a little bit later reacting to it on our end. Currently 3 converted tries. All that the Fijians need to bring up the 50 in this 5th place playoff. It's just showing me once again that if they didn't have that bad game up against the USA, they definitely could have gone far in this Cape Town Sevens competition. If not, maybe taking out the title. But you got to make sure you're winning those playoff games. The Fijians, they were unable to do so. Nicely taken there by Juan Emmanuel Molinuevu. I believe Molinuevu. That's the better pronunciation of that one. Now Reseto also came off the bench for the Argentines due to injury. Now trying to break through, short side. Good tackle made by Fiji. Again, and some solid work in the breakdown. It's gone backwards, they've said. Now going off to the left-hand side for Argentina. Breaking the line almost through for Tobias Wade. Player we also haven't seen too much of throughout the early stages of this one. Now a nice step. Another big shot. Every time Argentina are tackled, the Fijians are landing with the full body weight on their bodies. Tobias Wade tries to spin out of that one. Finds the offload up to Lavien. Now working the breakdown from Fiji. They get the turnover. And now with 3 minutes left on the board, they might go for the quick tap here. Keep the momentum flowing. And like they're saying, when you're 29 points ahead, sometimes sides, they do let their defense down a little bit because they're like, oh, well, we're winning by so much. Fiji are going, no, you're not scoring today. We're making a statement here that Hamilton's going to be ours. That kick hasn't found touch, so that's not much of a statement from the Fijian kicker. But Lavien now going to run it back, unless, of course, they just wanted to all do a high shot. Like that one was from Jeremiah Matana. Actually going back for that high shot penalty now for Argentina. They're actually asking the question, why couldn't we play on with an advantage here? Definitely if there wasn't going to be a yellow card. And also we have got there, my bad brother. You are correct. I'm here to you. No worries at all, Grant. Says all good. Do let me know, though, prediction for South Africa versus USA when it does come around. Who do you think's taking out that game? Do you think South Africa are going to be able to take it? Or do you think USA, as the underdogs actually for that matchup, might be able to sneak it? It is going to be Lavien once again. Goes short in the line out. Argentina just outside of the 22 with Tobias Wade. Another big run forward here from number 15. Not quite able to get through Rossetto. Now still Argentina's got it. Trying to find just that one try. Nice seller, the dummy. Knock on though. Now Fiji are going to have this one only 10 metres out from their own line. They'll go back for the scrum feed. Argentina, you can see the frustration on their face, and South Africa should be favourite. Yep. So I believe they are $1.30, somewhere around there, or maybe $1.50. And then the USA are about $3.30 underdogs for that matchup. But handling errors, 5 from Argentina compared to the 1 of Fiji. Fiji have had a very good game here. Argentina, certainly one that they'll want to forget. They'll still finish 6th, so you get a few points for that on the World Sevens circuit. But certainly not as many as they would have liked to have walking out of Cape Town. 50 seconds left on the clock. Once again, kick downfield from Fiji. Going back for the penalty. The man was just a little bit ahead of the kicker, unfortunately, for number 13, Pola. Recently scored a try for the Flying Fijian. Time off, says the referee. So we're going to have 32 seconds left on the clock. So Argentina, they were asking for a few seconds to be put back on the clock as they feel with 32 seconds left, they're going to be able to score 5 converted tries. Don't know if that's quite going to work out for them. Now the scrum feed for Argentina. By the looks of it, they still want to get 1 try on the board at least. But Fiji, their defense has been looking pretty solid. It doesn't look like going to be breaking too easily unless Argentina with the set play here may prove to be effective. But the ball about to be fed in by Lavien. Put in nicely now. Big push from the Fijians. A little bit too early with it. Came out the same tunnel again, they've said. It's actually the second time we've seen that in this match, and almost the first time I've seen it in all of the games of the Cape Town Sevens that I've commentated. And they could have stayed at the hotel, says Grant in there. Yeah, it's a shame because they played so well in their last contest when they were going, oh, that was a big push. And their head-to-head with Great Britain, they had some brilliant tries. That free-flowingness, though, that's a big push. Free kick goes the way of Argentina as Fiji did go just a tad too early there. What do Argentina do here? They're going to go for the scrum again. They're saying Argentina, they want 1 try on the board. Fiji, they've had some big pushes so far throughout this matchup. But hasn't been an effective weapon up against this big Fijian forward pack with Vikunara Billy, also Matana. You've got the guys coming off the bench, Mothin Othangi. Very dangerous. Now short side should be the try for Argentina. They try and get it in over the line, and they do. They get the last try of the match. The consolation for Simon Benitez Cruz. And that will mean that they no longer have 0 on the board. They've got the 5 with a conversion attempt to come. Fiji is not quite getting the defense right for that one. Satoranga, he went wide, but then he missed that tackle. So did Bukayaro. Matana went too high. And it worked out that Cruz was able to go and get the final try of the match. It doesn't change the result, though. 29 points in favour of the Fijians over Argentina, who were able to get themselves the 5 with the kick to come. It's going to be a missing away to the side. So that will be the end of the matchup, ladies and gentlemen. 29 points to 5. The winners are Fiji. They will get 5th place in the Cape Town Sevens. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Our next live stream will be kicking off just a little bit later on. I believe it's about 5. I'll just have a quick look. Make sure I give you the right time. And good game, says Nate. And cheers for the stream, brother. See you all in a couple for the next game, says Grant there. So, yeah, the next game that we have got is going to be 5:55 that we are starting. That will be the matchup between South Africa and the USA. But we have got a preview coming out in about 15 minutes' time. So be sure to check that out as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. And we'll see you all for the next one.